The quaint town of Maplewood was known for its lush green lawns and vibrant flower boxes, a picture of idyllic suburban life. But on a stormy Tuesday evening in March 2005, a shadow fell over Maplewood, a darkness that would linger for 2 decades. The victim was Sarah Miller, a beloved schoolteacher known for her infectious laugh and her dedication to her students. She was found by her husband Robert in their home, the scene a gruesome tableau that shocked even the most seasoned detectives. The initial investigation was a whirlwind of activity. Police canvassed the neighborhood, interviewed friends and family, and painstakingly combed the Miller house for clues. Robert, distraught and disconsolate, cooperated fully with the police. He recounted his alibi, a business trip that took him out of state, seemingly corroborated by travel receipts and phone records. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, but the case remained cold. The trail had gone cold, leaving behind a grieving family and a community haunted by an unsolved mystery.
The years that followed were filled with a deafening silence. The residents of Maplewood tried to move on, but the memory of Sarah and the unsolved case lingered like a ghost. The Miller house, once filled with laughter and warmth, stood empty, a constant reminder of the tragedy. Time, however, did little to diminish my resolve. I kept Sarah's picture on my desk, a silent vow to one day bring her killer to justice. I would often find myself poring over the case files, convinced that the answer lay hidden somewhere within the details. Then, in 2025, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source. The advent of advanced DNA technology breathed new life into the cold case. My hair now streaked with gray, but my determination undimmed. I saw this as my chance to finally fulfill my promise. I immediately ordered a re-examination of the evidence, hoping that time might have been kinder to the preserved samples than it had been to my memory. And time, it seemed, was finally on our side. The results of the analysis sent a jolt through the quiet town of Maplewood. The DNA profile extracted from a bloodstain found at the crime scene was a match. But it wasn't just any match, it belonged to Robert Miller. The news hit Maplewood like a storm. Robert, the grieving husband, the picture of heartbreak, was now the prime suspect in his wife's murder. The man who had shared a life with Sarah, who had mourned her loss for 2 decades, was now accused of being her killer. The evidence, however, was irrefutable. Armed with the DNA match and a search warrant, my team and I descended upon Robert's home. The arrest was swift and quiet, but the shockwaves reverberated through the community. The man they thought they knew, the one who had grieved alongside them, had been living a lie.
The revelation shattered the peaceful facade of Maplewood, leaving its residents grappling with the stark reality that the truth had been hiding in plain sight all along. The trial of Robert Miller was a media spectacle, the courtroom packed with reporters, curious onlookers, and those who had known both Robert and Sarah.
The prosecution, armed with the damning DNA evidence, painted a picture of a calculated crime, of a man whose grief was a carefully constructed facade.
The defense, however, argued that the DNA evidence was circumstantial, pointing to contamination or mishandling over the years.
The trial was a tense back and forth, the prosecution presenting a compelling narrative of deceit, while the defense chipped away at the credibility of the evidence.
Throughout the trial, Sarah's family sat stoically in the courtroom, their faces etched with a mixture of grief and disbelief. The revelation of Robert's involvement had shattered their world once more. The man they had embraced as family, had shared their grief with, was now the source of their pain. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: guilty. Robert Miller was convicted of the murder of Sarah Miller.
As the verdict was read, a wave of emotions swept through the courtroom. For Sarah's family, it was a moment of bittersweet relief. Justice, though long delayed, had finally been served.
The arrest and conviction of Robert Miller did not bring Sarah back, but it offered a sense of closure, a chance to finally begin the long process of healing.
The case of Sarah Miller served as a stark reminder that even in the quietest of towns, darkness can lurk beneath the surface. But it also underscored the resilience of truth, the unwavering dedication of law enforcement, and the enduring power of hope.
Even after 20 years, justice, like a seed buried deep within the earth, had found a way to bloom.